Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is Coach Brian with Brian Boxing. Give you a quick boxing news update. So if you were able to watch the Kovalev and Ward battle, hats off to you because that was an awesome fight. So I was able to watch it twice. I didn't want to give a commentary because everybody else is going to be giving their thoughts exactly right after the fight, and I didn't want to say something based off of emotion on such an important fight. So what I did was I watched the fight, went to sleep, woke up, watched it again. This time I turned the commentary all the way down to where there was just no video, and there was no sound, so it was just me basically not going off the crowd reaction or what the other ringside commentators were saying. It was just based off of what I could see. So applying the 4 rules of judging a fight, I gave it to Kovalev by 1, literally by 1, and the only difference was what not made it a draw for me was the knockdown in the second round. Literally, it was a neck and neck fight. It was probably their best fights out of both of them. Each one of them can go back and look at their video and see what they could have done better, but each one of them were doing the very best that they could. Each other person was it was obvious that Kovalev was attacking a little bit more. If he could have been a little bit more strategic, maybe a little bit more accurate, maybe a little bit more busier through each round, it would have been an overdominance. If Ward could have slipped a little bit more, not have taken as much punishment, maybe attacked a little bit more, he would have been an overwhelming. It would have been an overwhelming victory for him. But based off of ring generalship, punching, the amount of punchings landed, what would it be, the damage that each punch did, man, I gave it to Kovalev. I mean, you could tell that Kovalev was hurting Ward, and every time Ward would hit him, Kovalev would just come back with that straight jab. Every time Ward would come in, it would just catch him all the time. And it was so crazy that Ward has been so advanced with his defense and nullifying people's offense, and just, he's been in there with some punchers. But for whatever reason, it seems like Kovalev didn't have a lot of tricks in his bag. He kept doing the same thing repetitively, and either Ward just couldn't catch on, or there was more nuances to it. Maybe there were some subtle movements that Kovalev was doing that you couldn't catch, unless you're ringside or in the fight, that it was throwing Ward off. But, I gave it to Kovalev, and like I said again, it was a draw unless, until you factor the fact that he came down and that Kovalev knocked Ward down in the second round. And it wasn't a flash knockdown. That was a solid knockdown. He got hit, and he went down to the ground, and then he was hurt for the rest of that round. But recently Kovalev has hurt opponents, and I'm going to name 3, and which all have very similar styles, and he just never pushed on the gas all the way to check him out. All right, so there was Bernard Hopkins, there was Chilumba, and then there was Ward. So all 3 of those fighters he had knocked down pretty, Ward and Hopkins got knocked down earlier in the fight. All 3 of them have a similar style, and I wouldn't say that all 3 of them are the same fighter. Obviously Ward and Hopkins and Chilumba have, there's levels to that. Obviously Ward being the number 1 of all 3 of those right there, and but they have some similar styles, and they're just not a straight up puncher. You punch me, I'll punch you back type of fighter. You can tell that all 3 of those they're kind of thinking, they're trying to bait people in, trying to set traps. But for whatever reason, he could not knock them out after knocking them down. So he knocked all 3 down and just couldn't finish the, press on the gas and knock them out. I don't know why that was. But, needless to say, it was a great fight. Would I love to see this fight again? Yes. Is it probably going to be bigger than the last fight? Yes. Now, as far as a boxing fan, I would have wanted to see a rematch, period, period, between Ward or Kovalev, whoever would have won. But from a financial standpoint, you know this is going to bring in more money. You know that Kovalev is going to be training harder. He feels as though that he was robbed. Now Ward kind of hinted to that he would understand that Kovalev felt robbed because the rounds were so close, and that during the circumstances where he was at. And now I don't know if that's because he felt like he got over on that one, but he was absolutely correct. Kovalev was like, I fucking got robbed. All these judges are American, and those are some things that your team, when they go to negotiating, they need to kind of negotiate the judges. They need to have an eye. You just don't go in there and thinking, you don't set yourself up for failure. You go in there, you want everything to seem even as possible, but for whatever reason, they just didn't see that was like a big deal, or because both Ward and Ward and Kovalev's team wanted this fight. They got the fight. It didn't take long to negotiate the fight. So I don't know why that wasn't put in place. But live and you learn. Please like, share, comment, dislike this video and all my other videos. Please take, if you don't know my 2016 goal is to get 1,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel. And to make this video, get them 100 likes. So if you can help me out in any way, I appreciate that. Please write in the comment section why you think your fighter won. And more so, why do you think the other fighter didn't win? Because sometimes you can always explain why your fighter won. Oh, because he hit him more, he did this. But explain why the other fighter didn't win, and we'll discuss it later on next week. So, thank you so much. Brian Boxing, Pride Never Quit. Out. Peace. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is Coach Brian with Brian Boxing. Give you a quick boxing news update. So if you were able to watch the Kovalev and Ward battle, hats off to you, because that was an